All right, let's pivot over to the SEC. We had Auburn in action tonight. They knocked off Ole Miss. And we have Kentucky, which is coming to an end here. They are up 68-62 with under a minute left against LSU at home, playing without their two guards. I want to start with Auburn first, because Arch, I made this argument to you the other day. I think that you can say that Walker Kessler is as valuable, if not more valuable, to Auburn for what he does defensively around the rim as a lob target, as a vertical spacer, than Oscar Tshiebwe is for Kentucky, despite the fact that Oscar Tshiebwe could end up winning National Player of the Year. Is that crazy to say?
No, it's accurate. I mean, let's just talk about what he did again tonight. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 8 blocks. I mean, you have a center averaging, literally almost a triple double in SEC play. At numerous times this year, he's had almost triple double. As crazy and as staggering as Oscar's numbers are, which they're historic, you're not going to find probably another guy duplicate those type of numbers. Walker Kessler's numbers are equally as impressive when you counter the block shots and what he's done for their defense. They lead America in block shots. And to me, if you take Walker Kessler off Auburn's team, there's a significant drop off. There really is in terms of long term. And he could be the player of the year. I'm sure there's some coaches in the SEC that would say if they didn't have that guy, things would be different, and he's that important. When you look at what he's doing, what Oscar's doing, and I would add Sean's guy, Christian Coloco, right now, after watching him play Oregon the other night, that if you took Christian Coloco off Arizona's team, I think it's a drastically different team. It's an underrated defense at Arizona, strictly because they have one guy who's so dynamic and dominant at a front court position and what he's doing. But Walker Kessler could be put up there as player of the year in the conference, and you wouldn't hear peep out of me. His numbers and his style, what he's done for them defensively, just crazy. And they held Ole Miss to 37% from the floor, 30 from three. They blocked, how many shots they blocked again tonight? As a team, they blocked 9 more blocks and 8 more steals in the game. I mean, Auburn's a tough out, and they're not even playing real well on offense right now.
Mm-hmm. I would bring this point up, Rob. If you put Mark Williams in that conversation in his meeting to Duke on both offense and defense and what he does for their team, and then you have Oscar and Kessler, which you guys just, hit on in a big way. The thing that's different about Christian Coloco at Arizona is because a lot of times they're playing two bigs. Some of the teams that you're talking about, they have a wing player at the 4. And then the players like Kessler's a true 5, right? Oscar is the center. Mark Williams is the 5. With Arizona, sometimes Christian Coloco switches. Like he'll guard the 4 and they'll be able to switch. If you look at the last possession of the Oregon-Arizona game, when Oregon was trying,
possessions. If you
he's
look
switching on to a point guard,
incredible.
he's switching on to a 2 guard as a 7-foot center. He's 25 feet from the basket, and he can't get a shot up. So he's not only blocking shots, defensive rebounding, catching lobs, scoring with a lot of efficiency, but he has that component to their defense. And I think that's one thing that sometimes as you look at Arizona playing fast and scoring and moving the ball, they win because of their defense just as much. Their defense is top 10 in the country, and that's what makes them such a dangerous threat right now. But Coloco, he might not be right at the level of a couple of those guys, but I'd put him like a slight notch below for the reason that I just gave you.
Yeah, you guys mentioned it a little bit, but Walker Kessler, including the 8 blocks that he had tonight, is averaging, I'm doing the math in my head right now, he's averaging 5.6 blocks per game in 16 games in SEC play, which is just ridiculous. I don't think I've ever heard of anything like in a power conference, averaging 5.5
how about this?
blocks.
And then look at what Oscar's doing rebounding in the same conference. Both of them are doing things that in the last 25 years in the SEC, you could probably just name a few names in their company. And those names are like longtime NBA players, maybe an even NBA All-Star.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's crazy. Some of the statistical numbers that both of those guys have put up.
Hey, Rob, this past weekend, it was Charles Barkley's birthday. Did you guys happen to see any of the clips of him when he played at Auburn? there was a couple videos like tributes to him as a player. And, you know, everybody's like falling in love with him as a broadcaster. And you remember him as an NBA player and part of the dream team. But did you ever really catch his act as a college player? Like how athletic and ridiculous that dude was. It's unbelievable, man. I mean, when you talk about all the all-time greats to ever play college basketball, I mean, I would be curious to see where he stacks up